Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the 5th episode for The Walking Dead Season 9. In this one, we'll do a Q&A. We're going to start with giving our thoughts on whether or not Rick could JSS, could Jay somehow save him? Okay, and possible spoiler warning, if you guys haven't seen the 4th episode for The Walking Dead Season 9 yet, it was just a mind-blowing ending to that episode, an amazing episode, one of the best episodes, definitely the best episode of this season so far, I think, and, a standout episode for Walking Dead just in general. So, man, I'm still buzzing from this one. If you guys missed it last night, I did a review for episode 4. We did a reaction to it after just seeing it. We did a breakdown of their trailer for episode 5 because the trailer is just like mind-blowing. It looks incredible. And we did one with Andrew Lincoln's goodbye letter to fans. So I'll have lots of videos in this channel for you guys. When you're done watching this one, click it there. You'll see the end videos. You can watch some of those videos. Check them out, man, because for Walking Dead fans, this is what it's all about, man. This is it. This is, as Michonne said to Judith, the end, right? As she closes the book. At least for Rick, from the looks of things, or is it? So people still thinking, a lot of people, because Jadis is kind of, in and around there. She's left Gabriel now. How does that tie in with the other part of the story where you have Rick and you have the others? It seems deliberately to be set up in time for kind of the stuff that's going on with Rick. So this one is like ultimate fingers crossed. You hope and pray and wish that somehow JSS, Rick goes over the bridge or something. The others fight off the walkers that are there. Jadis finds them or something, takes them or tells the others that we got to get him to this. There's this group that can, helicopter lift him out of here and help him out, and he can survive this. They've got medics or whatever. They got doctors. They can help him out, and then he leaves, in a helicopter to be seen later. He's hallucinating. He sees all these crows come in. It turns out to be a helicopter landing or something, and he goes off. So this is the kind of theory that's been circulating since last May, right? It comes down to pretty much one or the other. People are in one of two camps right now. They're either saying that no, he's dying, or he's gonna make it somehow. DS here says he's not gonna die. People, come on, right? So that's what he's saying. But the thing about it is number one, the commercials have confirmed that this is Rick's final episode of The Walking Dead. So they, not only is it like, is it up in the air, but they're actually promoting it as the end for Rick. Andrew Lincoln has confirmed this is his final episode, but he's not done with, with this. Could we see him in the future do narrations for The Walking Dead? Like, they've been using him this year, last time on The Walking Dead, that kind of thing, as they get ready to recap and that kind of thing. Could he still be involved with promoting the series, maybe directing some episodes, involved with production or promotion, or in some way involved with The Walking Dead? I'm sure he will be for probably years to come. If the show lasts, another few years, he'll probably be involved somewhat. But, are they telling the truth? Is this the last time we're going to see Rick? Is this the final episode for Rick? Is this Rick's death, man? A lot of us are hoping not, but when you look at the hallucination sequences and you look at that trailer for episode 5, it looks like they're doing some of the craziest stuff you've ever seen in The Walking Dead. So unless they're planning on taking Rick, helicopter him off to Commonwealth, and then going into movies, and then Rick is your lead for Walking Dead movie, unless you're doing that, and this is the last time we'll see him in the Walking Dead series, because it's going to be movies after that, right? Or something like that. I love these ideas, and I hope almost any which way you go with it, I would prefer to see probably any of those than just simply killing him off. But the thing is when you see him, you see Shane sitting next to him in the car. Again, check out the breakdown video for that trailer if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. He's in the car. He's wearing his Season 9 gear. You can see his shirt and stuff because he's injured. He's hallucinating on the horseback. You see Shane right to the side of him. John Bernthal returning to play Shane. Again, mind blown, awesome. You see him going down the highway into Atlanta on horseback, just like Season 1, just like the covers and everything for the promotionary art when the series first came out. out. You see these scenes with just like 10,000 zombies or however many it is behind him, and he's just kind of he's kind of on the horseback going through, and there's just you see the bodies everywhere. You see them actually recreating this cover for The Walking Dead issue 100 with the sea of the dead of people who have died throughout the series. I got to look at this and I got to say to myself, like, this is probably his death. Either that or who knows? Most anticipated episode like ever right now, because we just really want to know which one is it. Is it A or is it B, right? Like, which one is it going to be? Is Rick an A or a B? Will Jadis get involved at all? Will Daryl have to put Rick down? Now, there's a lot of predictions right now with how things are going, but based on the clips and the previews of what we're seeing here, it looks like Rick loses the horse at some point, makes his way to the bridge, crosses the bridge to the other side where you've got all the wood and everything there. Now, one thing about bridges, and they've already kind of set it up, like, is it going to hold, is it not going to hold, the water's rushing through. Now you have a zombie mega herd coming through right behind Rick. He's stumbling across, he gets over it. You can see in the trailer that he's going to pass the wooden part. But is the part that they built strong enough to hold as this humongous ton of walkers goes over? I don't think so. So what does it make sense here? Rick gets over, gets across. Daryl and the others see it, and we saw in the trailer for this season, they kind of run up to defend Rick. Eugene and the others ready to kill however many zombies they have to kill, just because, it's Rick, he's stabbed, he's dying, they can see it, and they're like, oh shit, so they all just run to his rescue to save Rick, and as such, as they're fighting him back, maybe the rest that press in collapse the bridge, and all the rest of the walkers just basically like walk right in and push each other into the water, and then they all get kind of blown down. So the herd is taken care of, and then the rest can kind of finish off the others. Rick gets across, and he's basically, he's bleeding out at this point. Daryl and the others find him, and either, this is as far as I think I can go right now with predictions on where we're at based on the trailers and stuff. He either dies right then and there. Daryl says, sorry, brother, and either gives him a bullet or uses one of his new knives or something. Maybe the Colt, maybe the Python will be able to do. I don't know. Similar to what happened with Dale, sorry, brother, and he puts him out of his misery. Or two, like I said, somehow Jadis realizes what's going on and goes in and gets Rick and takes him in order to deliver him the helicopter to possibly be used later on, if not in this series, in movies or Fear or whatever the hell else they decide to do. Maybe return after a while. So leave a comment below. Where are you guys at with this one? I'll put a poll here. You can vote, A or B, which one you want to see. Do you think that Rick is just dying and this is it? That's why they got Shane to come back. That's why they're doing all these epic scenes and all this stuff that's just unbelievably visually stunning, to see this kind of stuff. Is that it? Is Rick just dead, or is there more to it than this? And do you think that the Jada stuff has been put in there at this point for a reason, and that's what will be done with Rick? So it'll be left somewhat open-ended, and they can actually maybe use him in the future and have him come back, or, like I said, do movies and things like that. Let me know what you guys think, where you're at with this one. What are your predictions for the biggest episode of The Walking Dead ever, Rick's final episode? Mission to Be a Man says 9 seasons, over 100 episodes, and Rick gets taken out by a horse, a freaking horse. So I'm seeing quite a bit of that right now. A lot of people are upset that you've got a character going this long, the most important character in the history of zombie media and as a genre, and he's taken out by a horse, right? So, but the thing about it is that it's kind of like the Tyrese situation where he's dying so you can do the hallucinations, right? He's losing blood, he's bleeding out, so you can do the hallucination stuff. If you don't do that and you have a character either, let's say a villain like the Whisperers take him out, or a zombie herd devour him or something like this, you can't do that episode 5 with Greg Nicotero with those visuals and all that stuff and the hallucinations and have it make sense. You can't have him walk up to the doors, don't open, dead outside, right? So dead inside, dead outside. It's pretty cool. I like it. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole sequence play through in the episode. But just so many of these nostalgic, iconic scenes from the episode, and it really ties back in. It creates a finish for Rick. Like, it creates, starting with episode 1 of season 1 to this point right here, and it going back to all these points out the series in a nostalgic fashion to his death now and where it's at. It really completes that story, and it's an ending for that story of The Walking Dead, right? So I hear what you're saying, and I get you, but ultimately it's the walkers chasing him, it's the whole situation as it comes together, it's the impending doom, and then it's the light flashing before his eyes. It's the things that were, important to him, important moments in his life that he's starting to see, important things in the apocalypse he's starting to see that can affect him and can affect the viewer, the coma and just those some of those iconic scenes, iconic moments throughout the series. Some of the people that he lost, along the way. Right? Really crazy stuff. So personally, I'm not disappointed by it, but I get it, and I understand if anybody is. Maybe people would rather have seen him get Lucille in season 7 or something. I don't know. But it depends how they handle it, and I know it sounds so simplistic, but it'll probably be epic after you see episode 5. So I think after we see episode 5 and we see all those iconic epic scenes, then it'll feel more epic for a lot of you guys right now who are saying that, it's too... And you're right. Like, if that was it and we never had episode 5, then yeah, that's a big time letdown. But this is coming, and we're going to see this. So let's judge after we see episode 5 so we can see all those crazy scenes. SMOkoro said pretty much the same thing. Not an epic death for exit for Rick. If he dies, I am gone, even if there is a Richonne baby. Ridiculous way to lose him. But if you think about it deeper, he's basically putting his life on the line. He's sacrificing himself to try to save the bridge, to try to build the communities, to try to build the future that Carl gave him the vision for. So there's more to it than him just falling down in front of some random zombies and dying, right? It's a whole build-up, it's a whole setup, it's a clashing of philosophies, and it's a wanting to believe and be the good guy and wanting to believe in a future rather than putting all the saviors to death and just killing them all and then, moving on. That would be something that Simon would do, or maybe Negan if he's pushed, if he has to. But Rick, that's not our hero. That's not Rick, right? So J.D. White says, is where he was hit by the rebar the same area where he was shot in the pilot episode? It all comes back around. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's right. It's pretty much, it's Rick, he's hit. She's got to hold him down, right? So again, it's freaking brilliant, man. And again, it just, if you're going to do it, like, I guess the way we have to look at it as, it has to happen at some point. You can't, the series can't go on forever, right? Even though the AMC says 20 years, this kind of thing, and it can, but it can't do that with the same casts. Certain cast members are going to leave at some time. If it has to be now, then it's going to be now, right? And that's what it is. We'd all like to see more. We'd always want to get more. But, we can't request that of people, If he's put a decade of his life into this show, we have to be satisfied with that. Not everybody's going to be a 30-year guy when his family is in a different country and this whole bit, right? This isn't the 1960s or 70s or 50s or whatever, where people would get one job and they would be there for 30 or 40 years till they retire when they're 60 or 50 or whatever. And being an actor is not really the same as that. They're going to have lots of different projects, movies, TV series. There's very few that would get one role and that would be it for their whole career. There's some, but it's pretty rare. So then we've got Aree Nelson, who says, Trev, a pale horse is a symbol of death, the fourth horse of the apocalypse. Doesn't look good for Rick. Yeah, I know. That's why I said pale horse instead of just a horse. It makes me think of the Johnny Cash song. Which song is it with the pale horse? Because I remember Dawn of the Dead uses a Johnny Cash. The remake of Dawn of the Dead used a Johnny Cash song, When the Man Comes Around. And it just, it made me again, it's done. It's just, man, it's done. So there's so much to these episodes. There's so much symbolism. I should probably do some videos just as we go through and we kind of go through all the symbolic things in these episodes, because there's so much that they put into them that you can look at as either Easter eggs or you can look at as, meaning something. And it's like, how long did they set this up for? It's really crazy. I always wonder how far ahead are they in the story when they're doing it? Because when you look at season 8, there was a lot of stuff in season 8 that didn't make that much sense, or seeing the A's everywhere and that kind of thing and all of that. And it's like, did they plan this out like years ago? Did they have this in motion for years? Because it's really, like, did they know this was going to happen in season 7 or in season 6? Or is this something that just kind of came up now and they decided to do it now? Because as we're seeing this whole thing play through, everything just feels so well planned and so thought out that it doesn't feel like an accident, or it doesn't feel like, you know, anything of the sort. It really seems to me like this is well thought out and is really coming together in brilliant fashion in just about any way you can think of it. But yes, absolutely. Yeah, when the man comes around, a pale horse, right? So, crazy stuff, man. I love it. You guys know it, man. Brad Nicholas says, denial is no longer a river in Egypt. I can't believe this is really happening, and neither can I, dude. Neither can I, man. It's crazy. Daniel Appleton says, someone told me that Anne, the Jadis garbage lady, works will find him. So, I mean, I hope so. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really hope so. Again, you know, here's holding out for the movie idea, man. I mean, I think that would be the coolest thing ever if they could somehow manage to do that. I would be so happy, because this is, if this is it, man, you know, they're doing it wonderfully, masterfully, I think. I know not everybody agrees, but I think they are. It's just, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Rick die. You know what I mean? I don't want to see it. I'd rather, whatever they got to do, man. Give us a helicopter. Give us whatever, man. Hallucinations, you know, waking up in the frickin' hospital or whatever. It was a coma. The whole thing's, no, I don't know. I wouldn't really want to see them do that. I think that then it becomes like a procedural crime drama or something. That'd be awful, right? Zlique says, I'm telling you, Commonwealth takes him. I hope so, man. I hope so. Kyle Cole says, Trev, time for another drinking and thinking. Yeah, man, I think so. You know, probably pretty soon. I don't know, but it's not a good way to cope with this whole thing, right? It's not a good way. So I'll drink energy drinks. They're equally probably or worse for you than alcohol. So they're probably worse, to be honest. You know, instead, just so I can keep making the videos and doing all this stuff with you guys, and you know, stay alert for my job and everything. A couple more. Trading Cards and More says, after the preview for episode 5, I was very disappointed if we don't see him die in the episode. Just looks like too epic of an episode for him to survive it. 13 seconds in the promo, you can see Jesus in the pile of bodies, possibly an Easter egg for what's to come. Or maybe it's everyone he knows is dead. Maybe everybody is dead. I haven't been able to see the bodies well enough yet in this. We'll probably go through it after. But in the comic version, it was all the people that he had known that did die, I thought. And I don't think there was anybody who was still alive in this one. But again, there's no saying that they have to do the same thing in the TV series. They could do it differently in the TV series. And maybe there could be some Easter eggs, or maybe it's everybody. I didn't see Michonne, or Carl's probably in there somewhere. But again, I got to look closer, and you don't see much in the trailer. I have to wait until we see the episode. Anyway, dude, that will be it for this video, guys. Check out all the other videos from last night. I'll have another one for you guys tomorrow for sure. Let me know where you're at with this one. Do you think Jadis can do it somehow? Man, here's to hoping. Or are we seeing the definitive death of Rick Grimes in The Walking Dead? So for this video, guys, if you'd like to thumb it up, share, favorite, check out the others, subscribe bottom left if you're new. Trev, stay in peace. See you guys soon.